Hey guys, welcome back to Ride JBI. I'm JB. In this video, we're going to show you how to install the X-Trig preload adjuster on a 2023 to 2025 Yamaha YZ450F and YZ450F. So to the left of me, I have the shock laid out. We've already removed the spring and we've already removed the original preload collars. What's really nice about the install on this shock is that you do not have to take the shock absorber apart in order to install the X-Trig preload adjuster. On the Showa models and many of the WP models, you do need to do that. So that makes the install on this one much easier than previous. I have the tools to the left of me that we also will need during this install. One of those is a small little flathead. We're going to do that to push out the bearing collars on the side of the shock. That way we have a nice flat spot to mount the shock in our vise. We also have a number 3 Allen key, and then we're going to need a small file in order to clean up some of the casting marks on this cast body shock. So far, we've removed the bearing collars on the side, and now we were able to mount the shock in our parallel jawed vise since we have a beautiful flat surface to mount it on. The next step we're going to do is, if you look at the shock body, we have a casting line here, and we need to remove it right at the bottom on this side, and there's another one on this side as well. Reason being is we're going to use these black C-clamps, and that casting mark interferes with this a little bit, and it doesn't give us a beautiful, nice flat surface for it. So that's why we have our file. You don't have to take away much material at all. You could probably not even do it, but if we're going to do it, let's do it right. All right, so we've removed the casting marks on the shock body. The next step is to install the X-Trig preload adjuster mechanism. I added a little bit of grease to the inside of the threads, just so that way the install goes smoothly, but please wipe off any grease residue after the install. So now that we have rested the adjuster just on top of the threads, we're going to take the spring and actually rest it on top of the adjuster. Reason being is that will give it some nice even applied weight on top of it. So when we go to start threading the adjuster on the threads, that's not favoring one side at all. And it really decreases the chances of you cross threading that, because that would not be good. Power tool time. All right, so you need to have this in the rotation of loosening. So when you turn it, it acts like it's loosening the bolt. It may sound counterintuitive, but it's correct. Just think of it. When we apply it to the preload adjuster, it will be taking tension off of the spring. So right now I have this on the low mode and on a very slow as well. And we're going to take our time getting these threads started. So we're going to stop about halfway through the threads. So we still have the other half of the thread still showing. We can now remove the spring, and we know the preload adjuster will not fall off as it has been threaded on. Now we need to add what I like to call the locating mechanism. This holds the preload adjuster in place when you go to add or reduce preload, so the adjuster just doesn't spin around the shock body. Now in order to do that, we're going to pretty much just mount the clips around, but these are directional. There is a flat side, and then there is a side with a, let's say, a chamfer on the edge. Also, they have little arrows as well that tell you that this is the top. So let's remount the shock right side up, so it'll be easier for us to install this last piece. All right, guys, so you can visually see kind of the alignment. We have this roughly facing the same direction as the compression adjuster. It'll make that for easy access. In terms of the placement of our mounting bracket or brace, whatever you want to call it, it is just above the end of the threads. And I like to even give it maybe like a 0.5 millimeter gap, so that way it's not resting directly on the threads itself. Now, in my hand is a number 3 T-handle. The end of this is a rounded nose T-handle for the Allen key, and these are all right for starting the threads on these, but they're not good for high torque applications. So when it came down to me actually torquing these Allen key set screws, Allen screws, I utilize our Matco number 3 Allen that has a flat tip on it. Reason being is it gives the tool much more contact and interface area with these small number 3 Allens. I also put on a little bit of Loctite as well. I haven't seen any published information from X-Trig regarding the torque specs on this. So that's why we do Loctite, because one, we don't want to over torque it because we can either strip it out. Two, if we over torque it, it could possibly distort the shock body and make it hard for the piston to pretty much move inside of the shock body. So we don't want to do that either. We want to mount this with just enough torque that it prevents our X-Trig preload adjuster from spinning around or causing the brace to spin around. Now, this still is pretty tight, so use your best judgment. And if you guys do know over torque value, please drop it below in the comments. So now that we've done, we can check this by adjusting the adjuster, and we'll see that it will climb up and down the threads and it will not spin around the shock body. Now, when it comes to mounting the bracket, again, it has to be facing upwards. We can tell by the 2 arrows here. And with the side of the 2 arrows, we want to make sure that we fully close the bracket so there is no gap. Now, when we do that on the other side of the bracket, there will be a gap, and we'll show you a visual of that. That is correct. All right, guys, the checkered flag is in sight. We're almost done. I have adjusted the X-Trig preload adjuster all the way down on the shock body, where there's the other side all the way up. So now we're ready to install this beautiful midnight black, or let's say galaxy black spring. Earlier, we revalved the shock to our JBI motocross spec, and now we're just finishing it with the spring insulation. Now, this is a really good tip. You can see I put this spring on, and it does not sit flush or flat all the way on the X-Trig preload adjuster. Reason being is a lot of Yamaha springs have a different inside diameter on them. So we're going to flip this around to ensure that it fits flush on our adjuster, just like that. And now we're going to set down this mic and finish installing the spring retainers. All right, so we have the spring mounted back to the shock. After we install this, there's going to be a minimum amount of preload on the spring at all times. So what I mean by that is, even though we have the X-Trig adjuster adjusted to the fullest length we can have, the spring already has a small amount of preload on it. It has about 2 to 3 millimeters of preload. Now, that's still not enough preload regardless of the type of riding that you're doing. You're always going to want at minimum 5 millimeters. So now we're going to adjust this to the preload spec that we've already determined and ship this shock out to this very happy, expectant rider.